Wendy, so far this season, Eagles wide receiver Nelson Agholor is looking like the first-round pick they were hoping for when they selected him 20th overall in the 2015 draft. 20 receptions, 321 yards, and tied with Zach Ertz for a team-high 4 touchdowns. What a difference a year makes. Last November, Agholor was in the middle of a nightmare season, was being called a bust by some, and actually got benched by Doug Peterson. Agholor said to me back then that he was just happy he wasn't cut. Peterson told us his advice to his young receiver after the season was to get away from football for a little while, clear his mind. He reportedly saw a sports psychologist in the offseason to work on his confidence. But Agholor told me this weekend that the best therapy was the support he got from his coaches and teammates. He said it's a great feeling knowing that your head coach wants you here, wants you to be a part of something special. Wendy?
Lisa, thank you. Carson Wentz, pretty special this time around. It's been unreal this season on third down, leading all qualified quarterbacks in yards per attempt, TD passes, and QBR. Here's a preview of the nationwide Chalk Talk with Coach Gruden, where he sat down with the Eagles quarterback.
Carson Wentz, thanks for joining us on the nationwide Monday Night Bus. Give me a secret tip or two that can help me solve third down.
I think the biggest thing, honestly, last year, we went back and looked at the film, and so this spring we're just like, we need to be better in third down and in the red zone. And so we emphasize that throughout OTAs and then in training camp as well. And that's something every week that I really, we watch all the tape, but third down and red zone, I really grind through that. We're all trying to come up with different ideas. And then at the end of the day, it just comes down to guys making plays.
You been hunting anything? In New Jersey or Philadelphia?
In New Jersey, yeah, there's white-tailed deer to hunt around there, and some ducks and geese here and there, but not a ton of time during the season. But you get out over the long weekends or the bye weeks or something. But no, the off season is when I get my hunting fix in.
That's awesome. Thanks for joining me, man.
Absolutely.
Great to see you again.
Thank you. Good seeing you.
Kick off your Week 8 NFL Sunday with the Countdown Crew, 10 a.m. Eastern. They'll have all the early breaking stories, injury updates, and preview each game right up to kickoff, also streaming live on the ESPN app. It is time now, though, for Sunday Best, the one, the only, Ryan Clark. Look, there he is. He loves this. Don't let him fool you. It's his favorite part of the
Absolutely.
day.
This is my favorite part of the show.
All yours, my friend.
Lou and I called each other because last week Lou and Darren had on very similar suits, and I was jealous because
you felt left out.
I felt left out, so this is why me and Lou coordinated today. We let Shefty just stand alone because he's that guy, and Wendy Nix also came in. So we're going to talk about
the name of the game.
We're going to talk about cleats first, right? And this is why we're going to talk about cleats. I like to try to tie everything in, right? This is Malik Jackson. You know why we're using these cleats? First of all, it's a Halloween theme because the Jacksonville Jaguars defense is a nightmare. So everything we do when we're in Jacksonville is about scaring folks. And when you get 10 sacks and when T.Y. Hilton only has 2 catches for 27 yards, you can do this with your cleats. Let's roll to Jalen Ramsey. You see it, it's Boo from the Mario series. First of all, these are J's, and he has Boo because you know what? He's scaring people away from his side. It is ghostly on his side. Nobody wants to go over there. You saw T.Y. Hilton. He was running his route thinking himself, I ain't going to get it anyway. Oh, they threw it to me, and I can't believe it because it's spooky, it's scary when you play against the Jacksonville Jaguars, so why not let your cleats sell it to the people?
Jacksonville is
Now we're going to move on to the real QBR,
Ooh.
right? And I know what you're thinking that QBR is, but you're wrong. It's the quarterback bow tie rating. And here we have Tyrod Taylor in the olive suit, right? Perfectly tailored on the bottom, beautiful shoes to match. This is a 5 bow tie outfit. When you step up to the podium with this on, people know that you mean business. I think this is special. It's not doing too much. Tailored just perfectly. Way to go, Tyrod.
I agree with you.
Way to go, Tyrod. Now we're going to move on to Mitchell. This is one of Lewis's guys. Here's why we love this. Look at him representing. Hey, listen, it's October, breast cancer awareness. He's representing on the inside and the out. All we wish is that he could have threw more than 7 passes, so this could have been highlighted even more. But you know what I'm going to give this? This gets 5 bow ties for me as well. 1, because I love the color. 2, I love what it represents, and that Mitchell Trubisky gets it. He said, I ain't going to throw no passes, but I'm going to win the pregame. Now,
fair enough.
You know why we're here. You know why we're here.
Here we go.
We're not here so we just don't get fined. Look at Cam Newton. Patty cake, Baker's Manhattan. I stink and love it. Looking like, is it the milkman that inspired this? You think this is Red Fox, God rest his soul? That was an actual picture of Cam Newton after the game. That's what that was. It was a tough day for Cam. I actually didn't mind the outfit, though. Kind of a Rollo. Like, I felt like when he was walking in, there should have been somebody behind him saying, can you dig it? You know? And listen here. When you're Cam and you're 6'6", you already said personal sauce guy. Some people could pull it off. Some people can't.
How about
Obviously
this?
can.
How about this? Because clearly, I think we can agree a lot of thought went into Cam Newton's outfit, right? Somebody had to think that up. So, overreaction or not to say that Cam's wardrobe game is outperforming his on-the-field game. Overreaction, not an overreaction.
Well, that's it. It was not an overreaction because, look, I'll tell you this. Look, every time Cam touches the ball, and look, I like some of his outfits, quite honestly, because they stretch the boundaries, and I kind of like that. But his game as far as taking care of the football and getting his team into the end zone, taking care of the football, get his team into the end zone. Take care of the football, get your team into the end zone. Those are the things that are not happening. His own head coach said, we're moving the football up and down the field, but we're not getting points on the board. That's on you.
You can move up and down the field all day long.
Well,
this is spots you want to be in.
Now, it wasn't all his fault. And
no,
I will say that. But look, Cam has to be more accurate. Cam has to be more consistent. The guy can be absolutely lights out and electric,
so
and then
not an overreaction.
Well, this is why this is an overreaction. These guys are going to stick to football. I'm going to talk about his wardrobes.
You don't like the wardrobe.
I do like the wardrobe, but he doesn't dress better than he plays. They're not going to give him $100 million for the clothes he wears. Please, now he might spend $100 million on them, but he's not going to get $100 million for that. He's a better player than he is dresser, and it's because he's right. Listen, Lou.
I didn't say anything.
I saw your face.
That wasn't me. That was Wendy.
You was
I didn't say anything.
No, you went.
Listen, guys.
Maybe that was me.
It's an overreaction. Cam Newton plays football better than he dresses. Period.
Overreaction. He's had a bad game yesterday, but he's been playing lights-out football. Lights-out football. Better football player. But I'll say this also, to dress the way that you do, dress the way that he does.
You got to play good now.
You better be confident.
You got to play good, and you got to be confident. Because some of that stuff, man.
Isn't that bright in there, though? I don't. The glasses, like, is it really that bright?
Well, you know what I really like, though? The fact that the hat's two tones matches his goatee. That type of detail cannot be overlooked, Wendy.
Yeah, that's.
I got to start wearing sunglasses at night. I just got to try it.
You know what?
It was a day game.
How about don't? All right.
No, I know. I'm just saying at night, though.
Ryan brought this up, so I have one more for you. You know how, and we see the who wore it best, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I got one for you. Who wore it best? Is it Adam? Adam, you weigh in here. Because
hey, I tell you
we got the Navy. We got Louis Riddick here in the Navy.
Hey, guys.
Ryan Clark in the Navy.
Louis, this should be a segment. There's a segment in there somewhere. Like my guy said.
Adam,
Here's the thing, guys. We worked together all day, though.
Yeah.
When I saw him this morning, I knew it was going to be trouble, but it's okay.
You know what?
You guys are like, bridesmaids.
Honestly, I would have my wife answer the question before I did.
Yeah, you would? So you don't, is that your
Look, I don't care. My feelings ain't going to be hurt.
Does your wife dress you, Chef?
Yeah, she picks out the ties.
She does a good job, though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters. You look exactly the same. You two look exactly the same. It's like mini-me.
I respect Lou's style. I respect Lou's greatness on TV.
Here we go.
So,
the Browns quarterback carousel continues ahead.
It's time for another edition of Overreaction Monday here on NFL Live.
Overreaction to the highest degree.
Like times
exponentially. To the highest degree.
Carry the one.
Why do we have to be playing this game of back and forth? This is easy.
Don't press send. I'm just saying, send it to your mama. She cares.
Oh, wow.
Listen, America. I'm going down in flames with Goff, okay?
Kind of almost like the Rams. I think they have a chance to be a competitive team this year.
Almost like the Rams.
Wait a second.
That was tailor-made for Overreaction Monday.
Your reaction is overreaction.
Is this overreaction? I'm leaving.
Herm never wanted to overreact. We did. He came back, so that's fair enough. All right, we continue with Overreaction Monday, and this one, man, either way, this defense is pretty good. The Jaguars' defense, the best in the NFL. Saxonville, and the sacks just keep piling up, Louis.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of an overreaction, although, look, I love this team when teams teams decide to put it in the air and the Jaguars can play with the lead, they're going to get after you because they have some horses that they can come after you with 4 or come after you with 5 or more because these linebackers can absolutely fly. And in the secondary, they can just absolutely lock you down. They can play you man-to-man. They can play combination coverages, and all these guys have great ball skills. So if they can handle the run game better, when teams decide to line up and run downhill and smash them in the mouth, they haven't answered the bell yet on that. But man, you know, if they can get that squared away, this team is scary. It's just unfortunate they're playing with the quarterback.
Who's better? If they're not the best defense in the NFL, who's better?
Hold on.
I think that's
ready.
Yeah.
Seattle,
Okay.
Pittsburgh, Minnesota, Chicago, Buffalo. Now listen, Jacksonville is in that conversation.
They are.
But to say that it's the best defense in the NFL,
So overreaction.
Overreaction. But
they're coming now.
But they're coming.
Hey,
They're on the right course.
It's not an overreaction because we're having the conversation. It's not an overreaction. This is what's wrong with people. They want to step out on a limb for Jared Goff, but they can't step out on a limb for defense. Man, listen, these dudes got war daddies. War daddies.
I want you to look in my eyes.
They get after the passer.
Look at what I'm
great
doing.
in the
Look at what I'm
secondary.
doing.
Sideline to sideline.
There it is.
Find one. Find you one. Yes, sideline to sideline, linebackers. Listen, yeah. You know, Lewis, they haven't answered the call. It's somebody's running straight. Hey, this is the best defense.
That doesn't matter.
They're the most dynamic. The corner, their corner duo.
Best cornerback.
Their corner duo. Okay. But they, why you scream? Well, I feel the same way about Jared.
How about this? The Jags are on pace. I can tell you this. The Jags are on pace for 75 sacks. So that is Saxonville.
If they get a lead on you, it's a wrap. As Ryan likes to say.
We said,
it's a wrap.
One of the best defenses in the NFL. Ascending. Excellent.
All good things.
But I'm not ready to
crown them. Fair enough. I think that's better.
Crown them.
No, I'm not going to.
All right, we talked about the Rams.
Not yet.
All right,
Can we talk about the Rams?
We did talk about the Rams, and now we're going to continue to. And I'll say this. Again, you tell me, overreaction, not an overreaction. The Rams are the most complete team in the NFC.
Oh, Lewis, it's your guy.
I mean, come on.
You know I want to say, but I can't because look, and I'm going to say for the same reasons, right? For the same reasons I was just talking about the Jaguars. Their run defense, if they can snuff out people's hopes and dreams like they snuffed out the Cardinals yesterday when they took AP and said, hey,
look, run defense
remember how you looked a week ago against the Tampa Bay Bucks? We ain't having no more of that. If they can keep doing that, this team, what can't they do? They can run it, they can throw it, they can score on special teams. They have the number 1 scoring kicker, the number 1 scorer in the NFL. They have the hottest quarterback in the NFL, thank you, and the hottest running back and an improved offensive line. But run defense, you get that squared away. Look, the Rams are going to be playing in the NFC Championship. Mark it down. NFC Championship.
Thank you for making the argument.
Say it again.
It's not an overreaction.
I pretty much
laid it all out.
I pretty much did.
And I will say this: give me a team that is more complete right now in the NFC than the Rams.
Because I think that's what
Not
you have
Seattle.
to ask if it is overreaction.
Philadelphia's quarterback is better.
Philly's there.
Philadelphia's quarterback is better.
I'm not going to argue.
Philadelphia's good on special teams.
Philadelphia more complete than the Rams.
They're good on special teams.
That would be a great game.
The only thing that worries you about Philadelphia is outside the numbers at the cornerback position.
Okay.
That's the only.
Well, every team has something. It's on Achilles' heel, so you have to.
Everybody has something.
Everybody's go. Oh, even you, Adam
Nobody's
Schefter.
perfect, Shefty.
No, you guys are.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. How about this? I don't know that we'll get any dissension here, but we'll see. The Cardinals are done. Overreaction, not an overreaction.
Let Clark do this one.
This is not an overreaction.
This is not an. I know.
You know what? It might be an overreaction that we actually have this question because I thought they was done before Sunday.
Well, they are definitely done.
So now, for sure, listen, with Carson Palmer out, you can't do the one thing that Bruce Arians wants to do every time he steps on the field, and that's push the ball downfield. They were already having trouble doing it this year. Now with Carson Palmer out, it's going to be tough. But when you watch a team lose their quarterback,
and it
deflates everybody.
And their running back.
Right? But you can't play defense anymore. You can't play special teams anymore. That's the tough thing. It's hard to overcome those type of mental and emotional letdowns.
Yeah, it's not an overreaction. The offensive line is not good enough. I think it's always interesting when we talk about this kind of thing. Look, last week they bludgeoned the Tampa Bay Bucks, who are one of the most disappointing teams in the league, without a doubt. This week they go up against a team that's white hot. And they get snuffed out in the run game, and everything trickles down from there because now the Rams go, guess what? We're just going to rush you now because now we got a lead. Then the offensive line gets exposed more. The defense starts giving up big plays. Yeah, they're done.
Yeah, Adam, yeah, there's not much more to say here. They're done, we're done.
Shefty?
It's always 2018.
We're not done. We have another.
Well, we're not done. That's true. Yeah, that's never happened before.
I'm economical with my words.
All right, then. Press coverage now, which will be an update on Joe Thomas. Of course, sorry to see him injured on Sunday. Joe Thomas on his long-term future after surgery. Am I done playing? I don't know. I think that's a decision that's best talked about in the offseason. Thomas said he would prefer to wait for a less emotional time to think about it. Adding a full recovery may take 6 to 9 months. So certainly understandable. And our thoughts with Joe Thomas, certainly a warrior in this league. Big defensive hits.